This is great. People just keep gassing him up. It's been a month, y'all. It's been a month, and people are still gassing him up about that solo show. I mean, me included, honestly. So maybe that'll be something I'll have to encourage him to do in the future. If I'm like, I got to do, I got to take a week off for a vacation or something, I don't want you to find a co-host. I need you to just do it solo. You are forbidden from getting the
He
co-host.
just gets a co-host and it's just there sitting there silently, nodding, just with a video version.
That'd be great. Maybe he could put his dog on. That'd be great. Dog cam. Awesome.
Dog cam.
Yeah. These ideas are free, Kyle. They're free.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
A new month means new Eggs-pedition.
You might have to go on a Hatching Odyssey to get a Dusk Form Lycanroc.
Rumors of the next Community Day Classic are Pory-gone.
Hisuian Typhlosion will have its day in an upcoming Raid Day event. And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 264. I had to double check. I don't remember what day of the week it is half the time. Anyway, I'm your host, Chris. And as always, wait, hold on a second. No, not as always, but kind of, because from the other show. But this week, standing in for Kyle, we've got Lachlan.
G'day, and I wouldn't say I'm standing in, I'm sitting in.
Sitting in, I suppose. Yeah, standing in would imply verticality, and we are both quite sat, as it were. So, Lachlan, thank you for filling in, especially so last minute. Appreciate you.
It's all right. Well, I couldn't miss the Lanoon episode, could I?
Oh, is that what this Pokedex number is? Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. I'm going to pretend like you just
guys
knew
get
that
5 weeks of Wurmple, Silcoon, Beautifly, Cascune, Dustox. Now.
Boy, hopefully our episodes don't necessarily reflect the nature of the Pokedex number it corresponds with. Anyway, in this case, Linoon is rad, so that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, Kyle's out this week. He's recovering from some dental procedure, and so hey, thought maybe talking for an hour or so might not be the greatest thing to do. So Lachlan was nice enough to step in. And if you like what you hear here and you have not already been tuning in, make sure you check out Star Piece, where Lachlan and I interview a content creator or figure in the Pokemon world. We just put out the Ian Waterfall episode. He's from the Incense
United
podcast.
Kingdom.
Yes, from the UK. And it's great. I know you've heard us talk about the Incense podcast before, so you'd really enjoy that. And I'm excited for our next one. It'll be a little surprise, but maybe consider where I source my Pokelore stuff from, and you'll get a little hint. But that one is up and coming. But we've got an episode here to do. First, I'm going to review the goals that we had set. The last episode, I got Kyle to report back to me what he did and did not do. So I've got that all the same. For Kyle, he wanted to get a shiny Wordeer, do some buddy progress, and then also participate in, lightly in some friend gifting. The answers to these are: for friend gifting, he said sorta. I'm just going to give it to him. Buddy progress, he said no. I'm surprised, flabbergasted, and I can't believe it. And then for shiny Wordeer, he did. And actually, a little fun story is that Zoe 2. Sent Kyle and I invites. We both hopped into that raid. It was the day before for the raid event for us, which is great. So we weren't going to say no. But both of us on our first raid, in the same raid from Zoe in Australia, we both got our one and done shinies. It was incredible.
Well, that was the same for me. I got one invite from Cricket because she's in a time zone with daylight savings and I'm not. So it was an hour before me. My first raid invite from her was shiny.
Oh my gosh.
The 24 raids I did after that were not shiny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you text me that and messaged me or something, and I was like, yeah, that's just the Poké karma just leveling out, Because what if you had done 24 raids and on the 20th you had gotten the shiny? It wouldn't feel quite so bad.
But I would still have done the 24th.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I set that really big goal at the seasonal episode.
Of what? Doing 24 raids?
250 raids this summer.
250 raids. Hey, man. You got to do 500 raids this summer. That's the deal. That's the thing.
No, between you and Kyle, that's how I'm justifying you. We don't have remote raids like they used to be.
True. Very, very true.
I have to do most of these in person.
Yeah. So we'll touch on that topic a little bit, I think, kind of moving on here, because there's some interesting things in upcoming events we could talk about. But for myself, I wanted to catch 3 shiny Wordier, 2 shinies besides that, and 200,000 Stardust. The Stardust I did, the 2 shinies I blew out of the water. I got, I think, every single, at least new event shiny from the Christmas event, and like just yesterday before the New Year's event ended, which we did not cover and we will not cover now because it's finished, but there was a New Year's event. I got my shiny Jigglypuff with a bow. I'm very excited about it. That's very cool. But for 3 shiny Wordier, that was a no-go for me. I got the 1 from the first one, and then I did 10, 15 more raids after that. And none of them were shiny. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I think I'm okay. I think I'm just going to let this one ride, which is rare. So when I'm okay enough to feel that way, we take advantage and we get our day back. So not too bad. But yeah, so it looks like Kyle and I, we tie, which is fitting because he's not here to give me a hard time about it.
If I did Kyle's goals, I got a shiny Weirdeer.
Mm-hmm.
I did Buddy Progress, and
Nice.
I did Gifts with Friends. So
truly you win this week.
I won as Kyle's proxy this week.
Okay, I understand. All right, so I'll let him keep the belt for yet another week.
Yeah.
And I'll let him know to thank you, his proxy. Great. Okay, well, we've got quite an episode. We've got lots and lots of news to cover. And so I see no reason to delay. Let's just hop right in.
Yo, what up? It's the news.
What's our first piece of news, Lachlan?
January's Eggs-pedition access. So new Eggs-pedition pass for January. We saw this in December. So it's the same price as it was last month for you, $5 US, or the equivalent in your local currency. We get the same bonuses. So that's an extra incubator every day just for spinning the first stop or gym. 3 times experience for catching the first Pokemon of the day. 3 times experience for your first spin of a Pokestop today. Be able to open up to 50 gifts per day.
Wow.
Receive 150 gifts throughout the day, and hold up to 40 gifts at one time in your bag.
It's too many.
It saved me a couple days over Christmas, that's for sure.
Receiving up to 150 gifts per day, I feel like is a bit.
Okay, for some players, that's what they want. If you're on that, was it level 48 where you have to send 400 gifts or 500 gifts or whatever it is to progress to the next level, they're probably very thankful about that bonus.
I don't remember that. Did I just black that out?
You had to send gifts, get lucky Pokemon from trades. I don't know. I did it in 4 days.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, no. I don't
I
remember
was
it at
messaging
all.
everyone saying, "Please open my gifts today. I need to send you a replacement."
Open your gosh darn gifts. Yeah. So I had a nice thing where I didn't send gifts prior to that, so I imagined it was much easier for me. I didn't have to bother people. I just they were already giftless.
And they were like, "Oh my goodness, we got a gift from Chris.
That's crazy." Yeah, I had some people send me screenshots of that notification come through, and I was like, "Yep, playing the video game." So yeah, this one also has a timed research with it, right? Last time we got a Gibble. Do we get another Gibble?
Sadly, we don't get Gibble again. We get Togetic, a different Community Day Pokemon that is egg themed. Gibble because it was first released as shiny around an egg event.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't quite get the nuance, the reference there. So this is, pretty much just the same. I think it's got good value. I was a proponent of Eggs-pedition pass for last month, and so of course, logically, it would follow that I am again for this month as well. What about you, Lachlan? You a fan?
Oh, the minute it struck midnight, I got that ticket.
Yeah. Can't miss an opportunity for one of those incubators, because every day that goes by diminishes the value of that pass a little bit more.
And they have fixed it so that we can now gift it to people, whereas at the start of the month we weren't able to gift it to people.
Oh.
And they changed that toggle while I was asleep, so I wasn't able to gift it to the person who gifted it to me last month.
Oh, somebody else beat you to it, or they bought it themselves? Oh, that feels bad. Yeah, it'd be kind of nice if you could send something like an IOU, like as soon as this comes out, like I'm pre-ordering this ticket, it's coming to you. That'd be neat.
Well, I think Sarah Amanda would love that, especially with her Wayfarer giveaways in the GoCast server.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah,
Just to make sure she's the one giving away the tickets each month, because there's a few people who she IOUs multiple community day tickets to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Sarah Amanda, who y'all should know from listening to the show, very active member of several communities. We're lucky enough to have her in ours. She runs this really great Wayfair competition, which she's called in about and explained before in the past. But one of the prizes is a community day research ticket. So,
and
very,
this
very cool.
recent month, the only thing you had to do was show your favorite accomplishment in Wayfarer over 2023 to get your entry. So that was really nice and easy to do. And I think Mally from up north here in Queensland won it. So happy to see an Australian win it this month.
Oh, well, yeah. Just bring it home. Yeah.
But if you're not yet a patron, make sure you join the Patreon so you can enter Sarah Amanda's giveaways, because the next one will be happening before the Community Day Classic.
True. And I don't think I've mentioned this on the show, but if you're a patron of ours and we are given things from Niantic to give away, if we are able to, we put them on social media and then we also put them in the server. So if you're a patron, you can double dip and a chance at some giveaways when we do get them to roll around. The most recent one was actually the December Eggs-pedition access ticket. We gave away 10 of those on the server, so that was really cool. Thanks again to Niantic for that. Great. So yeah, that's January Eggs-pedition access. If you liked the last one, you'll like this one. If you didn't, nothing changed. So your opinion probably didn't at all. Unless you were like, oh, my friends are hatching and I'm not, then. So moving on here to this next piece of news, which is admittedly a much larger event. Lustrous Odyssey. Trainers look toward the setting sun as Dusk Form Lycanroc makes its howling Pokemon Go debut during the Lustrous Odyssey event. If you're watching the video, just saw a little Rockruff. Is very cute. Starting during this event, some Rockruff that trainers hatch or encounter will be able to evolve into Dusk Form Lycanroc instead of Midday Form or Midnight Form Lycanroc.
Did you say some Rockruff?
Yeah, we'll come back and dissect that because that's the talking point at this event, I think, for sure. But first things first, when is this? It's Saturday, January 6th. It'll be this Saturday, and it's going to run until Wednesday, January 10th at 8 p.m. local time. So it's only it's a handful of days. It's 4 days. So it'll be kind of a rush for this.
5 days.
5 full days, right? Yeah, gotcha. Yep. Debut, Dusk Form Lycanroc. The wolf Pokemon will make its Pokemon Go debut. And for the first time in Pokemon Go, trainers will be able to evolve Shiny Rockruff into Shiny Dusk Form Lycanroc. How exciting. And starting with this event, some Rockruff that trainers hatch or encounter will be able to evolve into Dusk Form Lycanroc, like we just mentioned. There are some bonuses. There's an increased frequency of buddy Pokemon bringing you souvenirs, also presents. Your buddy will spend more time on the map after being fed berries or poffins. Rockruff hatched from eggs received as Adventure Sync rewards during Pokemon Go Timeless Travels may have a chance to evolve into Dusk Form Lycanroc. That's pretty cool.
So you may already have an eligible Rockruff in your bag if you haven't transferred it because of its previously lackluster IVs. So fingers crossed for some of those trainers.
I don't have high hopes for myself because while I do get that egg every once in a while, I don't think I keep those Rockruffs unless they're hundos. So it's going to be the case for most trainers, I think. Yeah. But there is going to be a wild encounter pool for this 5-day long event. Ghastly, Eevee, Spinarak, Sunkern, Teddy Ursa, Lunatone, Solrock, Young Goose, Fomantis, Morlul, Espeon, and Umbreon. All of those are shiny eligible.
Which for Espeon and Umbreon is a return to being able to be shiny in the wild, because they actually disabled their ability to be shiny after the season of, I believe it was Mischief, the Hooper season, where you were able to get Espeon and Umbreon in the wild. And I recall the morning of the last day of that season, I got a wild shiny Umbreon.
Ooh.
And then they haven't been able to be shiny since. So I'm hoping that this is them turning back on those shinies permanently.
That'd be nice. It would be kind of petty if they turned it back off.
Well, maybe they weren't meant to turn them on for this, and the blog article was mistyped, so I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Kind of the Pokemon Go trainers mantra. Oh, let's just see how it shakes out. In raids, in 1-star raids, you'll be seeing Hisuian Growlithe, Rhyhorn, Hisuian Sneasel, and Rockruff. 3-star raids will feature Lapras, Aerodactyl, Hisuian Braviary, and Wordeer. So if you missed out on the Wordeer raid day, or even further back, the Hisuian Braviary raid day, and I guess it's like 3 subsequent times it's been in raids, now's a good time to grab those. Lapras and Aerodactyl are much more common, so if you're newer and you're like, what do I spend my raid passes on? Wordeer, Hisuian Braviary, if you don't have them, I'd snag them, because they're the ones you can get different ways for sure. In eggs, exciting. The following Pokemon will hatch from 2-kilometer and 7-kilometer eggs in addition to the Pokemon that currently hatch from those eggs. Rockruff.
No surprises there.
No.
Although, good that it's in 2 and 7. I think that's a really good accessibility thing they've started doing this season in particular, where the featured Pokemon have been in 2s and 5s, not just 7K eggs. Because if they were just in 7K eggs with the Eggs-pedition passes, I think we'd have a lot of people upset that people who bought the pass had access to more hatches during the event.
Oh, yeah, that's fair because of the gifts and such. Yeah. If there was an egg guarantee drop from the gifts, and there wouldn't be that much of a problem.
But then it would be a bigger problem because 20 versus 50.
Yeah, but if you are hatching 50 eggs in a day, because you can only hatch 9 at a time. I don't know. At some point, you're just like, give it to him.
There's some people in the Fleece King Twitch chats who are saying, "How come he gets all the shiny luck?" And I'm like, you're literally watching him catch 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah. The grind is happening before thine eyes. Yeah. Speaking of grind, the last thing here to mention about this event, I guess there's 2 field research task encounters. There will be event field research tasks available, and the following Pokemon will be available to encounter when you complete them: Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Sneasel, and of course Rockruff. And then there's bundles in the store, in the web store. But yeah,
can I put a prediction out that the Rockruff encounter is going to be locked behind Hatch and Egg?
I think that would be a good one. That would probably make sense.
I'm going to put Hisuian Growlithe behind Hatch 2 eggs because that's what it was previously.
Okay. Yeah. So is Hisuian Sneasel hatch 3?
I don't think so.
No way.
What was it last time? It was hatch 2 eggs last time, I think. But Hisuian Growlithe's also in the seasonal rotation for spin 5 Pokestops. So,
okay.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Interesting. Yeah, so this event, Lachlan, egg focused, of course, but the big thing here is this addition of the missing form of Lycanroc that we've been waiting on bated breath for, this Dusk Form Lycanroc. And they could have released this so that, hey, during Dusk you just evolve your Rockruff and you get the Dusk form. But instead we're doing this thing where certain Rockruff will have the opportunity to evolve into Dusk Form Lycanroc. Not all of them, and certainly not the ones you got prior to this event, unless they were the Adventure Sync eggs, right? So nobody really, probably, I'd go on a limb and say just about everybody does not have an eligible Rockruff for this, and so will be forced to get them by raiding, hatching, field research for a chance.
So as someone who's hatched 5 shiny Rockruff, this hurts a little bit because I had a shiny Rockruff named Dusk. I had a 4-star Rockruff named Dusk, which I hatched, both of them, and they've just been sitting in my bag waiting. But there was always a part of my brain that said, how are they going to implement own tempo? Because for players who don't know, Rockruff in the main series games to evolve into the Dusk form has to have a specific ability that traditionally has only been given away at events, up until Scarlet and Violet, where it was available as a static fixed encounter as a terrestrial wild Pokemon. So you can't use items to change it to own tempo. It's always been a harder to obtain form, and it's based on the Lycanroc that Ash used in the Alola animes.
Oh.
So there is, from a Pokemon Company lore perspective, there is a little bit more to explain it. And as much as it bothers me, I was secretly hoping it was just going to be like an adventure with your buddy evolution.
Yeah.
To at least get that third evolution button. But
that would have been nice. And like, I understand them wanting us to engage with the game in other ways and stuff and earn something. That makes a lot of sense. But this really does not feel great for people like yourself who have been saving, shiny Rockruff or Hundo Rockruff for this opportunity. Personally, I think Rockruff is a little too popular to do stuff like this and get away scot-free. It's ultimately going to be fine, right? We'll get enough distance past this where people won't even think about it, and unless you just have your shiny Rockruff sitting in there just looking sad, called Dusk, right? But in the moment, it feels not great, even if it is great to get that Pokemon in the game. And
players do have to realize that Rockruff is a 1 in 64 chance of being shiny, so it's one of the few perma-boosted Pokemon that we have in eggs and raids. Yeah. So to have it accessible through research, raids, and eggs that you can just collect from stops in 2K eggs, that's more accessible than your normal egg event. And Niantic's not making you hatch more than one egg at a time. Mm-hmm. Just because you see that 7,000 coin bundle in the shops that Chris and I probably have both bought, doesn't mean that you have to do that. Because once it's in the game, the way this is read, it will come back and back and back and back and back. And eventually it'll be in the wild or have a community day. And it will be featured in a way that's more accessible for players to get. So if you miss out during this event, just remember how the game works. It will come back around. But I do think the other thing notable about this event is Lunatone and Solrock are breaking region lock. So that's another cool thing for people who might have picked up the game recently to have access to a new Pokédex entry.
That's right. And they'll never know the pain of trying to find a Lunatone when it was first released at like 2 a.m. in the middle of a street. You had Solrock, right? So was that an easier?
We did.
It was much easier hunt for you, right? Because it was just out during the day.
And it came out as during a month in which we had a lot of windy and partly cloudy weather.
Oh, perfect. Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah. So, overall, aside from the technicalities around getting Dusk Form, is this a yay or a nay of an event for you?
I'm on the fence. I'm not going to go out of my way to play hard. For people who don't know much about how I play the game, I play it a lot. I do a lot of trades with friends, especially when we have the seasonal bonus of guaranteed Candy XL from trades. So I look at this list of wild encounters. I have 4,000 Eevee Candy XL. I don't need any more Eevee triangles, as I like to call them. And I've got the resources and the shinies for everything else on that list, except Fomantis, where I need one shiny, and Morlul, where I need one more shiny.
Ooh.
And that's not enough to have me walking around in the middle of the Australian summer.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you think you're going to do your best to try to get at least one Dusk Form Lycanroc before this event is over?
Well, I will be out and about playing on Saturday because it's Community Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I will naturally be walking around during Rowlet Community Day. So I'll probably clear through the eggs I have in my bag during then and see what research tasks I can hold on to going into the event.
Gotcha. Yeah, I too am going to be out and about, oot and a boot during Rowlet Community Day. We'll see. We'll see how luck treats us. That'd be nice.
Look, I think this event would have been really good for a Rockruff Spotlight Hour.
It would have been. Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
What is next Tuesday's Spotlight Hour?
It's really that lackluster.
Oh, okay.
Let me confirm for you before I talk out of the back of my head.
Sure.
Leek Duck, you fail me.
Oh, no.
You don't have it just sitting there.
Uh-oh.
Leek Duck. It's Eevee. Eevee's the Spotlight Hour.
Oh, that's actually a good one for people.
Yeah.
People like Eevee. Okay, well.
For people who, again, are still working on, I think, what's that, level 41 level up, where you have to evolve each of the Eevee evolutions?
Yeah, I think that's that one.
That's a good chance for your more average player to pick up spare Eevees just to hit evolve and hope they get the Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon.
Good deal.
I do try and think through the Niantic perspective when they're just making these events, like the souvenir increase. That's going to help people who need to get buddy souvenirs to level up in whichever level that was. So I'm looking at this and thinking this is a very good chance for people who've been playing, but not as hardcore as, say, Chris or I, have a chance of just catching up. So that's what I see this event as. It's a good event to catch up with.
Yeah, I would say so. Especially like the things that we had also pointed out about raids too. Like, yeah, there's lots of opportunity here, especially for a newer player. So that's cool.
Like those tier 1 raids, just ignore Rhyhorn.
Yeah. I mean,
if you've got a free pass to use, you may as well.
Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Sneasel, and Rockruff. And like you said, Rockruff perma boosted for shiny. So yeah, I imagine we'll see quite a few blue Rockruffs on our timelines this next week for sure from people.
Because the tier 5 raid boss is Tornadus.
Oh,
during
boy.
This event.
It's not shiny, right?
Oh, no, Tornadus can be shiny.
Yeah, but one of the forms can't be, right? Therian can't be.
No, they've all got released shiny now.
This is how much I care about the genies, man. I just don't.
I did a random raid for a Tornadus, got a hundo, and I'm like, great. And it's the only 4-star legendary I have not powered up.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well. Hey, there you go. Speaking of good opportunities for newer players, Lachlan, can you tell us about the January 2024 Community Day Classic that was just announced?
Well, it's Pory-gone.
Yeah.
I love Pory-gone. It's
Porygon's
such a cool
great.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's got such a vibrant blue shiny.
It does.
So, trainers, we're excited to announce that Porygon, the virtual Pokemon, will be featured during the January Community Day Classic. When will this Community Day Classic be, you might ask? It will be January the 20th of 2024. I was about to say January the 20th of this year. Which I guess is correct.
That's true, yeah.
I'm so used to reading this from the Australian perspective, because on our versions of the website, it does swap the 20 to be the front of January.
January 2024, the 20th.
2001-24.
Okay.
From 2 to 5 p.m. local time. So this is the first time we're having a Community Day Classic, unless you count the Charmander with both moves, of a previously 6-hour Community Day. So...
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. So evolve Porygon to Porygon's evolution during the event or up to 2 hours afterwards to get a Porygon Z that knows charged attack, tri-attack. Trainer battles 65 power and has a chance of lowering the opposing Pokemon's attack and defense. And in gyms and raid, it does 75 power. But trainers, Porygon 2 gets tri-attack without needing a elite charge TM. So Porygon 2 learns it naturally. And it's much better on Porygon 2 than it is on Porygon Z.
Ooh, a real Charge-a-Bug situation, huh?
I think Charge-a-Bug still needs an Elite Fast TM for Volt Switch, though.
Oh, does it? Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it's a legacy
Bummer.
move. It's technically a Community Day move.
Oh my gosh.
And for $1 or the equivalent in your local currency, there will be the Community Day Classic Special Research Story. And bonuses for this Community Day, as they were in the original Community Day Classic, were 3 times catch experience. Lure modules activated during the event will last for 3 hours, except the Golden Lure module. Incense, excluding the Daily Adventure Incense, activated during the event will last for 3 hours. And take some snapshots for a Community Day snapshot surprise. Now, in recent com days, I've forgotten to do my snapshots.
Oh, me too. I need it for the medal still.
The only cool thing about it is you can search your storage for, I think, snapshots, the search term, and it pulls up every Pokemon that was from Snapshot. So if you get a Snapshot shiny, it's tagged and searchable in your storage.
I didn't know that. That's really, really cool, actually. Huh. It is wild, by the way, that they go out of their way for Incense to exclude Daily Adventure, but for lure modules, they don't mention the golden ones.
It really bothers me, which is why I wanted to add it, because since it was... I think there was one tweet by Niantic support that just said, oh yeah, the Golden Lure module is excluded.
Yeah,
but it's never mentioned in the blog.
It'd be nice, like, before somebody burnt it and was like, why is it only for an hour? That they knew it would only be for an hour.
Or for half an hour. And in events where it's meant to be an hour, they still last for half an hour. I get, like, during the city safaris where lures last for 8 hours, they probably don't want golden lures lasting for 8 hours.
Sure.
But for a Community Day... maybe just reduce the coin drop rate over that 3 hours to balance it out.
Yeah, work with us, you know?
It's just a weird exclusion. It's like how when the mystery box was first released, it was once a week and you got 6 spawns or what went stationary. So these things evolve over time. There will also be a timed research trainers awarding 3 upgrades and 3 Sinnoh Stones between 2 and 7 p.m. local time. So this will probably be something as simple as catch 3 Pory-gone and maybe power up 5 times. And the upgrades are required to evolve Porygon into Porygon 2, and Sinnoh Stones are required to evolve Porygon 2 into Porygon Z.
It makes my skin crawl. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it's the Queen's English.
I understand.
I guess it's the King's English now.
I don't like that. I like
Doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
No.
You Americans borrowed the English language from the UK, so just because you decide to twist and add Zs into every other word,
we
you got it?
we just sort of like, we take things and we make them our own.
In sometimes the best way possible, and in sometimes it's Z.
Well,
I just love doing the alphabet song when you end on Z. LMNOP, QRS, TUV, WX, and Z.
I don't get that. It just sounds so wrong to me. What's wrong with the Z? Z is fine. Like, I don't know why we have to be different. Why this division between us and our countries?
Well, Canada is like your neighboring border, and they're on Team Z. So
yeah, but that's Canada.
At this point,
man.
You're the minority on landmass.
You can't use Canada to prove a point. That's I have to say that as an American. Yeah, no way. I mean, unless you're like me and you're arguing about healthcare with other Americans, then I'm like, they got it.
We got it.
Gosh, everybody's got it.
The UK has it. So there were reasons to not leave the monarchy, America.
Yeah, true. Fair enough. But we just didn't care about the tea, and we wanted to, I don't know, something else, something about
something to do with
Mayflower. Yeah, who knows? But I think there's also Porygon showcases and there's event bundles in the shop and in the web store.
Oh, see, I forget about showcases now that I have that metal platinum.
You're done, huh? Wow,
I
you
hit
don't have to think
100
about it.
during the last showcase window. I got first place on 3 Jigglypuff, and I'm done.
Wow, good for you. But the rewards are pretty decent. Are you still going to throw in when you see them?
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
I don't have to worry about setting an alarm for 3 minutes before it ends to do a last-minute shuffle around to try and place a little higher just for more Stardust.
I always forget, and I always check the day before or the morning of when it's going to be done, and I'm like, oh, okay, second, first, second, right? And I come back later, or I get my results at 8, and it's 6, 7, 10. I'm like, what happened? Why am I the only person not paying attention? My word.
And with the showcases, just remember, trainers, that the longer the showcase is on for, the better the rewards. So Community Day showcases generally have a lower payout in experience and Stardust and premium items as compared to the events like Jigglypuff, which lasted for 3 days.
Yes, sir. So are we excited about Porygon Classic? I mean, Porygon is rarer, and sometimes getting the evolution items for a newer trainer can be difficult, so it's nice to have it all sort of laid out for you. It's also a pretty compelling shiny.
I really love Porygon, but unfortunately I'm at the ballet.
Oh no!
So family booked ballet for my aunt and all of her grandchildren and my cousins to go to, and she's like, oh, we got a free ticket, do you want to come? And I said, sure. And that starts at 1 p.m. on that Saturday, so I might get an hour of gameplay, but as someone who played the original Community Day, I'm not too bothered.
How long is an average event at the ballet?
I would assume probably 2 hours, two and a half hours.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll be
so
cool.
I might get between 4 and 5.
Just have your plus going in your pocket,
Just the Go Plus flashing from the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had it at my. I was at a friend's Christmas party 2 weeks ago, and I had a sweater on with pockets, and I had my plus in my pocket, and I thought I had it facing me, but it was facing front, and so every once in a while it would go off, and I wasn't looking at it, but people were like, "Why is there a rave going on your stomach?" And I was, "Don't worry about it. Just coming for a hug and just
So, last night I was looking for my Go Plus before I went to bed, and I'm like, I know what I can do. I open Pokemon Go, I pair it, and I just look around the dark house for the raid.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah.
The other thing you can do is, I think, open Pokemon Sleep and play sound effects through the Pokemon Sleep app.
You can at least test the cries. Yep. All right. So Porygon classic. That'll be cool. Unless, of course, you're tied up at the ballet. Last piece of news. And it's the best one ever. Hisuian Typhlosion Raid Day event. Yeah, that's right. You heard it right. Trainers, the time has come to blaze through new raid battles and a season-long exploration of the Hisui region ahead of Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh, with a raid day featuring Hisuian Typhlosion. Join us in celebrating these Pokemon from the Sinnoh region's past before catching up to the present for Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh. Only time will tell when Hisuian Typhlosion will return, so make sure you catch this opportunity. So clever. When is this? Sunday, January 14th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. Don't sleep on it. You'll regret it. He's cool. Event bonuses. Receive up to 5 additional free raid passes from spinning gym photo discs. The remote raid limit will be increased to 20 on Saturday, January 13th from 4 p.m. to Sunday, January 14th. Sorry. It's on Saturday, January 13th from 4 p.m. to Sunday, January 14th at 7 p.m. PST. So
it's not local time.
No, it's not. Which that is a departure.
That means
from...
I have Monday for extra remote raids. It's a bad day for it.
Ooh. Yeah. Increased chance to encounter shiny Hisuian Typhlosion, and obviously Hisuian Typhlosion will appear more frequently in raids. There's a $5 US or local equivalent ticket to accompany this, which gives some familiar bonuses such as 8 additional raid passes from spinning gym photo discs, increased chance to get rare candy XL from raid battles, 50% more XP from raid battles, and 2 times Stardust from raid battles. So if you intend to go hard, get that ticket, I'd say.
I do want to point out that the event that overlaps with this, the Dazzling Dream event, which I believe you and Kyle will cover next week, also includes 2 times catch Stardust. So every catch that you make during that day will also be double catch Stardust. So make sure you're still catching Pokemon as you walk between gyms.
Nice. Yeah, perfect. So that just dropped. So yeah, we'll have to probably save that for next week. We don't want to bog everybody down. There's so much stuff. I say that, but the past 4 episodes have been so news heavy.
See, this is what happens. You're one day late, and Niantic puts out another 7 blog articles for you to
That's
cover.
right. That's exactly what happens. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Hisuian Typhlosion. I'm hype. I'm really, really hype. I'm excited. I'm gonna do a lot of them, and set a good shiny goal for it next week.
And if you're on our Patreon Discord, reach out to me on that Saturday if you want some early invites.
There you go. Yep. We do have a remote raid channel, and Lachlan's very, very responsive. So if you're looking
if you
for
at
raids,
message me, I will see it.
Yeah. Yes.
Please remember the at message, friends.
So that is it for news this week. Lots of exciting things on the horizon. And yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Good luck this upcoming week with, your Rockruff and your Dusk Form and your eggs.
Can I just have a prediction that we're going to get Hisuian Decidueye next month as a raid day?
No. Why would you say that? That's just out there. You have no reason to say that. You're just speculating.
Well, it's good speculating.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think had Rowlet already had its community day, we would have had Decidueye first. Mm-hmm. And it would have got the normal grass, fire, water.
Yeah.
But because Rowlet hadn't been released shiny, they had to reverse it to water, fire, grass.
That's fine. Hey, whatever works.
I also have a feeling that we're going to get the chance during Sinnoh Tour to evolve into the Hisuian starters during that event. So make sure trainers, just in case, you get 1 spare shiny Rowlet, so make sure you get 4 during the community day, just in case there is that chance of evolving it into Hisuian Decidueye. Because that way, if you are unlucky during the raid day, or if you have to miss it for work commitments,
or the ballet,
you have still a chance of getting, or the ballet, you still have a chance of getting that into your decks.
Yeah. Sound advice, and you should listen to it. But that's going to wrap up the news section this week. And since Kyle isn't here, there is no Gear Up segment because there is no Gear Up without Kyle. And because we had so much news and we've got a lot of stuff to do with emails and We're actually also going to pass on by Pokelore. This week probably would have been Rowlet, but I see no reason why we can't do it next week because Rowlet deserves some time to shine, literally and otherwise. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive into Poké Poll and emails and all that good stuff. Welcome back. It's Poké Poll time. Kyle's not here. He always takes it, so this is strange. Lachlan, you got to help me out here, please.
All right. Last week's question, what is your proudest Pokemon Go achievement from the past year? What does Modders say, Chris?
Modders says, hello, gents and DeFi 250. For me, it's leaving FOMO behind. I was proper miffed when Niantic reduced the remote raid limit, but in the end, it saved me time, money, and stress. It just doesn't feel like that big of a deal anymore. If it's a raid boss I've done before or not, a raid day, research day, or comm day, I know I don't need to go that hard to get what I need. If I don't get the goods, then I'm part of a community that will look after me as I would them, so it's all good. It's been a great year, chaps, in DeFi 250. Much love, shiny vibes, and a non-apologetic length of Poké Poll answer to you all. Cheers. We love modders on this program.
We love anyone from the Commonwealth, that's for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, leaving FOMO behind, I feel like whether you plan on it or not has been a goal achieved by many people this past year, and probably for a similar reason. So that's good. It's good.
Can I tell you something scary, Chris? Over the past 10 days, I missed my Pokestop spin twice. And my daily research stamp twice.
That is alarming.
How does that say I've left FOMO behind?
Oh my goodness. Good for you. Good for you. Why are you playing Monster Hunter now instead? Is that what's happening?
No, I'm playing Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Are you playing through Sword and Shield?
Yeah, so I never actually finished the Crown Tundra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So once I finished all the DLC in Scarlet Violet, I'm like, right, back to Gen 8.
That's
and also,
right.
I love hatching eggs in Generation 8. It's a lot more efficient process than sitting around a picnic table to get eggs.
Yeah, you just run around your bike really fast. Yeah, perfect.
But also, you can get eggs while running around on your bike. So, Walrain writes, given that I've caught a 93% IV Galarian Articuno, this decision ended up being rather difficult, but for me, it has to be the sun god itself, Volcarona.
Yeah.
Not only was it my first round of eggs during Larvesta's launch event, incredible luck.
Yep.
But I swiped the 10k egg on my birthday and hatched it the following morning. Volcarona has since grown into a top 5 Pokemon of mine, and I attribute some of that to the 1 in 21,600 luck that it was, and the 1,200 kilometers we've spent together. Wow. Cheers, guys. It's been a while. I really hope all is well. That's some good buddy progress there.
Check out the calf muscles on that Volcarona.
Well, it just floats around. So it's the wings that you got to check out.
A little beefy.
Such a good shiny. I can't wait till we get that shiny, but I know it's going to be egg locked.
I'm going to lose my mind when that shiny comes out.
They put Volcarona in raids and Larvesta in eggs, and that's the best way that they can simulate the way it worked in Unova.
They could. Do you think maybe they'll do like an event at some point in time where they have like them for a raid weekend or something?
Well, for people who didn't play Unova, you encountered Volcarona as a static encounter in the overworld, and the only way to get Larvesta was to breed that Volcarona with a Ditto in black and white originally. So I wouldn't be surprised if static encounter turns into raid battle and eggs is still how you get Larvesta.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I don't know. That would probably be the best case scenario with Niantic logic. Getting access to Volcarona and raids before the eggs.
1,200 kilometers is nuts. That's really impressive. Yep. This next one is from Adam Ant, and they said, helping my youngest son with the logistics of making his account work for him. He's a very casual player, so is always out of stock on supplies, low on Mon storage, and doesn't have coins for raid passes. This year, I figured out how to get both his and my account to work at the same time on my phone with an auto catcher. So while I'm at work, 3 stops in a gym, I can let both our accounts fill up on resources and earn some coins at the gym, if it's the right color. So when we do play events like community days, he's got enough balls, revives, and potions and coins ready for any raids he wants to do. He tells me I'm his hero, and I'll take it. going to assume this is done in a way that works with the plus plus.
I'd love to see the rave happening at the Sky's office with the two of them flashing.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, you had to like put it like wrap it up in a really dark colored blanket and just like try to muffle the light. Yeah.
Well, I've seen people putting really dark stickers over the button, like black duct tape.
Yeah, that'll do part of it, but it'll still like seep out the sides, and it's just so strong. That light is so bright.
I think they put 4 LEDs in there. Like they really over-engineered it.
Gosh, yeah. Well, hey, again, like you said, at least you'll know where it is.
But that's incredible. I think, making a really good memory with your family, that's what the game is really all about, is spending time with friends and family. So I'm adamant, if you could, if I was your son, I'd be happy for you to stock up on my bag while you're at work for me.
Yeah.
I could just stay at home playing video games. It'd be great. And every time Adamant's written in before, my brain has gone Adam Ant, not Atom Ant.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to now know it's Adamant, because I can now see the
not adamant, but Atom Ant,
and not Adamant Time either.
That's right. Never again.
So Triptando writes, my two proudest 2023 moments that I would want to share are both PvP related. In Go Battle League, I'd reached an all-time high rating of 3,598 and a leaderboard placement of 16th in the world.
That's insane.
That's an incredibly high elo.
Wow.
And in the official Play Pokemon tournament circuit, I played one regional this year, and I'm very proud to say that I made top 12 in that specific tournament, which happened in October in Lille. That tournament was super stacked and had some amazingly big, massive names in the competition. And I earned 80 championships points from that event. My brain is autofilling the rest of the sentence. I'm sorry, Triptando, for adding words into that. For 2024, I don't know how dedicated I'll play Go Battle League, but I'll be at a few tournaments and I'll give it my best to earn some more championship points.
Good deal. Good luck to you. I mean, 16th in the world on the leaderboard, that's nuts. That's so impressive.
Yeah. So we want to see 15th this year, Triptando.
That's right. That's right. If it's only 17th, well, I'll be disappointed and we'll lose money on having betted on you.
Oh, we don't bet on Pokemon in Australia.
No, we don't do that over here either.
We bet on whether the kangaroos are going to make it to school or not.
Kangaroos go to school in Australia? That's amazing.
Well, they got it. How do you think we get to school? You should see the traffic jams. And it's just piles of kangaroos with people on their backs.
So when you ride your kangaroo, are you in the pouch with the Joey, or are you on its back, like on a saddle?
On its back, yeah.
Okay,
it's like Sneasler in Legends Arceus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're like a wicker basket on its back. Love it. All right, we got some emails too.
That's why I say I'm a passenger. I'm a passenger.
I truly am a passenger. See, I'm in this wicker basket. We've got some email responses as well. This first one is from Doddish22, and they said, my proudest achievement of 2023 was catching all 3 Galarian birds. Caught Moltres in February with an Ultra Ball, Articuno in October with an Ultra Ball, and just last week I used one of my 2 Master Balls to catch the Zapdos. Also, me and my friend Amira traded a Rayquaza, and mine went hundo without it even being a lucky trade. That was probably one of the best moments of my Pogo life. Good luck in 2024, gents. Doddish22. That's crazy good.
I believe the chance of getting a hundo non-traded Pokemon is lower than the chance of getting lucky friends and then rolling 100% IVs.
Really?
I think that's how the math works out, because it's 1 to 80 and then 1 to 64. So yeah. And if you're best friends, it's 11 to the power of 3 is the chance of getting a hundo from a best friend trade.
This is news to me.
Sorry, I forgot we don't do math here.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was told. There'd be no math. But we had another email. It's from Tony, and what do they have to say, Lachlan?
Happy New Year, Chris and Kyle. I hope that your holidays have been merry and peaceful. My greatest achievement in 2023 in Pokemon Go has been building a local community from the ground up. After the introduction of remote raids along with the pandemic, my local area Pokemon Go community has been a bit fragmented to what I thought was beyond repair. I was a solid player who returned in late 2020 with the occasional company if I dragged out my cousin or co-worker to play in either a community day or a Go Fest. I knew that there were still local players in my area. At first, I would maybe see 1 or 2 people play major events, but in the past 3 years, I was never able to cultivate a good community until the launch of Campfire to the public. This was an absolute game changer for my community. I shortly created a group and started inviting every player I knew and would meet. We're now a group of 159 players who are very much active. We host Raid Hour every week, Shadow Raids on weekends, and always have a good group for community days. This experience has led me to new lifelong friends and a community of players who are very passionate about the game. For anyone who feels they have no other players around, you just have to start small and slowly build your community, even if it's just a group of friends. Passion for this game is infectious, and you'll soon meet new players or returning players ready to join and play events side by side with your community. That's amazing, Tony. I hope you've applied to be a community ambassador, because it sounds like you already are a community ambassador. Let's get Niantic start sending you stuff to give out to help support your community more.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they already have quite the bit of success. Like, this is the ideal situation. So for those of you that are writing in and always asking about like how do you build communities and stuff like that, this is kind of the blueprint. You know, Tony's kind of outlined it rather nicely.
It might sound counterintuitive, but your friends will be interested in what you're interested in. So they don't have to play every day. It's okay just to log in once or twice a month. They're still part of the community. Yep. And if you're with them and you're out getting a drink and there's a raid, say, hey, why don't you re-download the app and we'll do this together? And then it starts, because you know that returning player luck exists and they'll get a shiny off that raid. And you'll be upset at them for getting so lucky, and they'll be like, ooh, this is a fun feeling. I should do this more.
Right, exactly. Like, actually, are there any other raids around here that we could do? Yeah.
So it might suck that Niantic really wants you to play this game with someone else, with party play, especially that party play research. But I'd say 95% of the player base know someone who they could convince to play the game again.
Yeah. I would agree. Thank you for the email. Great job. This one is from Mesa Climber, and they say, hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm a first-time emailer, long-time listener. I have a couple of questions and a story to share regarding this week's Poké Poll. First off, I'm curious about your prized Shundos. How many do you have? Which Pokemon are they, and how did you manage to snag them? Additionally, I'd love to know which Pokemon you think should be added to Pokemon Go next. I think it should be the Galar starters. Okay, let's do this. How many Shundos do you have, Lachlan?
I know that we have the same Shundo for something.
Oh, really? Okay.
We both have a Alolan Golem.
Oh, I haven't evolved mine yet. He's still a little Geodude.
You're still a Geodude. You didn't get the Comday move?
No. I will.
So, as I've alluded to, I play this game a lot. So, I would like to preface that I play this game a lot. I'm going to try and list them by memory.
Okay.
I think it's 15.
My word. Shundos? My goodness.
Yeah. So the first one was a Beldum, which was from a regular trade from not even a best friend before Lucky Pokemon was introduced to the game. Just because we wanted to re-roll some shinies. So at the end of Raid Hour, we just did a trade. And that Metagross is so good. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have Latios from a Lucky trade. We have Doug Trio, which was just a regular trade that went lucky. We have Inkay was from the Research Day. Community Day Shinies, we have Survivor. Not Survivor. Superior.
Oh,
there
Superior.
We go.
Yeah.
Superior Slowking. Tyranitar from the most recent Community Day weekend, which I actually caught at the end of Community Day during like the overnight period. I just found a random shiny Larvitar. I'm like, oh, yay. I praised it. I'm like, oh, my goodness.
That's incredible.
Because, yeah, it was just a random spawn. Oh, my goodness, I'm forgetting ones. Alolan Golem. Nihiligo from Raids. Zekrom from Raids. What other lucky ones are there? Latios. Did I say Latios? Kyogre. Lucky Kyogre, I should clarify.
Yep.
I know I'm missing some. Lillipup, which is still a Lillipup, because I have a feeling we're going to get a Stoutland Community Day one day.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be a fun one.
And so Inkay and Lillipup are the level 50 non-evolved. Just trying to visualize the CP. Doug Trio is at like 1800. See, my phone's not with me right now.
Oh,
I left it in a different room.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, who am I forgetting? I'm going to be so upset when I remember who I've forgotten.
You're already blowing me out of the water. I've only got 2. So I've got that Alolan Geodude that I literally just got like 2 weeks ago. And then that Espeon from the original EV Community Day.
I'd love a Shundo Espeon.
It's good. It's real good. We love
the amount
it.
of lucky trades I've done for shiny EVs is a little ridiculous.
Some of us just get all the luck.
I'm going to randomly say the name of a Pokemon later tonight, and that will be the last Shundo.
Okay, perfect. There's more to this email, though. Now, on to the Poké Poll question. What is your proudest Pokemon Go achievement from this past year? Now, I've got a story. It was the summer of 2023, and I had been at the mall with my grandma for what felt like an eternity. She was on a mission to shop for just about everything, and I found myself waiting outside the stores, attempting to get some service to play Pogo. I didn't really find any. Finally, we wrapped up, and my sister, who was with us, had a craving for some McDonald's, specifically a McFlurry. As we pulled into the parking lot to hit the drive-thru, I stumbled upon a shiny Galarian Stunfisk. While I already have 3 of them, I couldn't resist catching it. I checked its IVs, and they just kept getting better until they couldn't improve any further. That moment marked my first personal victory in Pokemon Go, catching a wild Shundo. I was thrilled, though I kept my excitement in check since I was in my grandma's car and didn't want to be too over the top. Nah, man. Well, I guess if grandma's driving, don't startle grandma. But yeah, surprisingly, even she, someone who had never played the game, was excited for me. I haven't made it my best buddy yet, as I prefer reserving that for something I'm more passionate about. But I will do it someday. That's all for me for now. Have an amazing week ahead. Shiny vibes all. Best regards, Mesa Climber.
That Galarian Stunfisk would be so powerful in Ultra League as a best buddy.
Yeah.
I know DeFi would be really jealous about that one.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully that's some motivation to maybe invest best of buddyhood into your Stunfisk. If you're even interested in PvP, maybe you're not, but even if you are, get it so you can brag.
So to answer your question about what Shundos I forgot, chat, please don't be upset. Listeners, please don't be upset. Patrons, please don't be upset about the ones I just forgot. You can be
upset, patrons. You've earned that right.
I'm going to list them by numerical order because that's the easiest thing to do. So Dugtrio, Alolan Golem, Ampharos, Slowking, Tyranitar, Walrein, Metagross, Latios, Kyogre, Dialga. I somehow forgot my Shundo Lucky Dialga.
How'd you forget Dialga?
It's been so long since I got it.
Oh, sure.
Superior Lillipup, Conkeldurr.
Ooh.
Haxorus, Hydreigon.
Oh my gosh.
A lucky Cobalion, Zekrom, Inkay, and Nihilego.
It's outrageous.
So, as I said, I play this game a lot.
Yeah, too much. You also do a lot of trades, and you're very.
I do a lot of trades.
You're efficient and smart about it. A lot of those are lucky.
And most comm days, I don't stop walking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do as many field research tasks as possible because, I remember getting Haxorus this year. Someone yelled out Hundo, and then someone next to me yelled Shundo. And this group I was walking around with, we all just turned, and it was like 2016 again, and 30 of us just started walking really quickly across this park.
Amazing. Yeah, good. We live for that.
And I was the only one in that group of 30 that got the shiny.
You showed them with your RNG.
But if you want to see what the Brisbane community sort of looks like when it comes to walking around following reports of 4 stars from people, Zoe 2 Dots was in town earlier in the year for a Fennekin Community Day. So you'll see a couple cameos from Lachlan and that, and definitely me yelling, "It's this CP, this direction. Come on, kids."
We love that. We need tall, loud people at these events. I, too, am a tall, louder person. And like when we were doing like our raid tours in Seattle, I remember just yelling, "Raiders on the right," to get to the right side of the sidewalk as our group of 30 people were clogging up sidewalks. It's a good time.
And also dying inside with those silly hills.
True. Yeah, man.
As much as I
gosh.
miss, that was the one thing in Seattle I wish I did was do some of the raid tours. Parts of me are so thankful I didn't attempt those hills.
Yeah, but if you were in my group, we would have taken care of you, because what we did is we would start at a high point and we would just slowly work our way down and not go back up. I mean, eventually you have to go back up, but
poor Cricket was so sick.
Yeah, I know.
Walk up those hills. And then because she was paired with Billy, and Trainer Club just was zooming up the hills.
Yeah, a lot of motoring going on there, just going. Yeah. But she powered through rather impressively. I know that we covered that in our Star Piece episode with her a bit. So we also have a voicemail from Saramanda in response to this Poké Poll. I'm going to play that now.
Hey GoCast, Saramanda here. My greatest Pogo achievement this year is Wayfarer. This year I've had 820 approved way spots. While not all of them appear in Pokemon Go, most of them do. Coming over my downtown play area, 79 of the Pokestops there were submitted by me. That's approximately 1/3 of all the Pokestops there that are mine. So that's like 200 something. I don't know. I was trying to keep the math simple. Anyway, someone who moved from New York called my downtown area a little Manhattan. Having been to New York this year, I take that as a great point of pride. Possibly more relatable note, also expanding the community with Campfire. I've seen so many new faces come to our in-person raid hours and raid days that found us through my Campfire postings. It's fun seeing these people be super excited about raid bosses that are so stale to us jaded longtime players. Still explaining Gimmighoul to people, handing out coin bags, and surprising people with that inventory item toggle button that collapses the view into 3 items per row. The way some of these people react, you would think it's Christmas. Well, I mean, it is now, but anyway. That's all. Peace. Saramanda.
Oh, I miss Saramanda so much. I haven't randomly called her out of the blue for a while.
Oh, maybe you should do that. Drop her a line.
I've got to think time zones.
It's a little late now.
I think it's board game night.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyway, no, Saramanda's great. But that's not a surprise to people listening. Saramanda has written in and called in before, but no, that's great. I mean, honestly, like, it's something that never comes to mind, but like when we're playing with new people and like people don't know the compass trick and like a bunch of other things, like when you tap the compass, it faces the way that you're holding your phone. Like so many people that are very popular content creators even didn't even know it. And so you can navigate with Go. If you're like, oh, this raid, I see a raid, which direction is it? And you just don't know because you're not great at reading maps or something like that. That's just not how your brain works. Some people are like that. Tap that button and then turn around in a circle until it's pointing at the raid. And you're like, oh, it's that way. It's in front of you. Tap it twice, it locks it north. Don't get caught with that.
You can also tap on the gym from a distance, tap on the arrow on the top right of the gym, press the photos button in the bottom right-hand corner and press open in maps, and it will open in Apple Maps or Google Maps, depending on if you're on iPhone or Android, and you can get iOS navigation or Google Maps navigation with voice commands to the location. That works for Pokestops as well, but the button's in a different place.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's wild.
And you can also do that through Campfire. You can tap on it and open it inside Apple Maps or Google Maps.
It'd be cool if they had integration in the game so you didn't have to swap out to the map.
They used to have integration with Ingress, where you would navigate in-game with dotted lines to particular points. Yeah. But when they rolled over to the Pokemon Go engine, they just phased that out. So.
That's fair. I feel like the more dense the board gets, the more messy that gets too.
But also, like, that's what routes are for.
True. That's also what, an API that you're just utilizing is for. They're not really, putting that data in there. They're just interpreting it.
But some people would, rather, like on the iPhones, you got that giant island at the top that doesn't take away from gameplay, or just have Siri or the Google Assistant talk through your headphones just to let you know where to go.
I like my dynamic window. It's nice.
That's such a weird name for it.
Yeah, it might not be window. It's dynamic something. That dynamic shelf,
island?
Dynamic. It might be dynamic island. You might be right. Either way, I think it's really cool. I thought I'd hate it. One thing I don't like about it is that it's sometimes like on the countdown for raids, it covers the top of that box. Yeah. It's just like not cleanly lined up, and that bothers me in my brain. But other than that,
just don't look at the names of parties. when they shifted to the bottom of the party. Now you can't see them on those certain non-pro versions of those iPhones, or non-Max versions.
Don't like that.
Hey, I've been using an iPad recently to play this game. you should see the amount of things that you just can't do.
I've played on an iPad. I've played on an iPad Mini. I've played on an iPad Pro just because I wanted to see, because I have them both. One of them's for the drone for work, and the other one is for travel and stuff. And I was like, just for giggles, let's try Go on these. And it's atrocious. It's so squished. If you're trying to do PvP, that battle party thing just fills up the entire screen. You can't see anything. It's nuts.
The one saving grace of the iPad Pros is you can dual screen. Like you can on Samsung phones. So I can have Pokemon Go open and something else open on the left.
Like the show notes.
Like the show notes.
Show notes. Yeah.
Or as an example of what I would do in the real world, I could have Ingress open. Or in Saramander's case, I could have Pikmin Bloom open at the same time.
There you go. That's right.
Or if I was Chris, Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. I'm going to get you to play at some point.
I have an account.
Yeah, but you got to hunt the monsters, dude. That's the thing.
You have to come to Australia and you try and hunt in this summer where the phone's overheating, the weather's overheating, you're overheating.
Nope, I'm always overheating. That's my secret. Yep. Anyway, this week's Poké Poll question is, what are your goals as a Pokemon Go trainer for this year? We just spent all this time celebrating previous achievements from last year. It only makes sense and is fitting that we take a look ahead and be like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do this year. So, Lachlan, do you have a concise, short answer for me, or do you have a long list of things you'd like to get done? Because I know you too well now.
I don't have a super long list.
Okay, the medium one.
I think it's more of still just getting FOMO under control. Like, just be okay that sometimes you miss an event or you miss a shiny, or no matter how many trades you do, you're not going to get that lucky 4-star. So, and just spend more time playing this game with other people. There was a while there where I tried to only play the game when I was with someone else who wanted to play the game, or unless I was walking or exercising. I wasn't just sitting at home refreshing the wild spawns, or when we had remote raids at a higher level, just seeing what was coming up or if I was getting any invites. So just be more independent about what I'm doing and having the game be a complement to my life, not be my life, if that makes sense.
That makes, I think, a lot of sense, and will probably be rather relatable for people listening. Yeah.
The way that they're slowly rolling things out, I don't feel the need to... like the event coming up, I've got the Candy XL for everything. So I can take it. Cool. I don't have to trade.
Yeah. Good deal. I think something kind of similar for me. Pokemon Go has, I've kind of put it at a maintenance level. I play every event and I throw out Pokemon and stuff and I buy more storage, but I haven't like really overhauled my storage or like done a lot of transferring to home like I wanted to do last year, or taken some events as seriously as I would have liked. So I think this year my goal for Pokemon Go is going to be, attend every event that I possibly can, but don't stress it if I can't. But like get my Pokemon Go trainer life together, more or less. Like, get my storage all sorted out. Get myself in a happy place where I'm not like dreading opening up my storage. Kind of just like maybe just spring cleaning, I guess, is a good way of putting it. So yeah, that's kind of it. Also kind of an amorphous, rather vague sort of answer from me, but I'm curious to hear what other people have to say. So, dear listener, if you have an answer to this week's Poké Poll question, which was, once again, what are your goals as a Pokemon Go trainer this year? You can answer when we post it on X/Twitter at GOCast Podcast. If you'd like to send us an email, you can to mail@gocastpodcast.com. You can also leave us a voicemail by calling 262-586-7717. We actually have a contact form that you can fill out on the website too, gocastpodcast.com. That's a fun way. If you don't want to actually use an email address or something, you can just use that. If you're a patron of ours, we have a channel dedicated to the Poké Poll every week, so you can put your answer there. And when we read answers on the show, I pull from there first. Full disclosure. because they're patrons. And, every once in a while I get a really good response somewhere else. I'm like, I got to include this.
And then you got emails, and then you got voicemails, and then you got X.com.
Yeah, that's right. X.com. But if you're watching on YouTube, the video version, you can also reply to the Poké Poll as a comment. That'll work too. Oh, and if you're listening on Spotify, oh my gosh, if you're listening to Spotify on the mobile app, you can also answer the question there. It gets put there in the there's so much there's so many ways. You got an opinion and you have a preference on how to share it, I'm sure we can meet you. That's right. And that's
I think they
GOCast
exclusively
Chris
want to
promise.
message you on a Facebook page.
Oh my gosh, it's gone. It's gone. The devil has been defeated. Cool.
And then Zuckerberg's like, haha, threads.
I know, and I kind of fell for that one, didn't I? I sure did. Yeah. So that's it. I guess speaking of emails and voicemails, Kyle isn't here. Lockley, would you like to do your best rendition of emails?
It's time for emails.
Good. Oh, yeah. All right.
And any more voicemails?
And yeah, a couple of voicemails. That's right. Well, why don't we just start off comfortable, and we have another one from Sarah Amanda. So let's just do that.
Hey GoCast, it's Sarah Amanda here. Recently, I feel like I've only called in voicemails when I have something to gripe about. Maybe y'all think that's all I'm thinking about, so I wanted to let y'all know that's not it, and sprinkle some positive affirmations. So, Kyle, that solo episode was very good. I don't think I've said it yet, so I wanted to be sure I said it. And I mean it. Like, back when I was trying to figure out what Pogo podcast to listen to, and I first downloaded 10 different ones, one of them, the podcast episode sampled, was a solo cast episode. I was like, that wasn't very good to listen to. So, bam, unsubscribed. So, what I mean to say is, like, hard to say conclusively, but I think if the Kyle solo episode were my very first GoCast episode, I think I would have come back next week. Like, it was pretty good. So, good job,
I'd be really
man.
confused what Chris was doing.
Also,
Yeah.
I realized, like, I'm not even ultra friends with Chris. Just Kyle. Kyle is winning by numerous days. Go Kyle.
Kyle's also winning
Okay, so
on
what
my
can I
friends
say to
list.
Chris? I added my rank 1 Ultra League Typhlosion to my buddy rotation because I need to
Yeah.
add something else to my rotation. That's all I got.
Oh,
Peace, Sarah Amanda.
Bye, Amanda.
well, I hope that Typhlosion is doing well. I'll have to make sure that I send this to Kyle so he can hear all the positive affirmations. And yeah, people just love that solo show.
It just autoplayed when I was in my car, and I'm like, ooh. About 5 minutes in, I'm like, this is nice.
Oh wow, yeah. It's very calm, collected sort of experience when it's just
It's
Kyle.
like a late night radio show where you're just wanting something relaxing to listen to.
Yeah, this is great. People just keep gassing him up. It's been a month, y'all. It's been a month, and people are still gassing him up about that solo show. I mean, me included, honestly. So maybe that'll be something I'll have to encourage him to do in the future. If I'm like, I got to do, I got to take a week off for a vacation or something. I don't want you to find a co-host. I need you to just do it solo. You are forbidden from getting
He just gets a co-host, and it's just there, sitting there silently, nodding,
It's
just for the video version.
That'd be great. Maybe he could put his dog on. That'd be great. Dog cam. That'd be awesome.
Dog cam.
Yeah. These ideas are free, Kyle. They're free. We've got another email. Thank you, by the way, Sarah Amanda. We have another email here from a Jason.
Hello, Chris and Kyle. This is Juice McGee123 here, answering the Poké Poll, the latest Poké Poll that you put of what my proudest Pokemon Go
Wrong spot.
achievement from this past
Let's play it
year
anyway.
was. And I will have to say that hitting level 50 has been my proudest moment.
Yeah.
And I say that too, considering that I'm a free-to-play player, so grinding out the XP throughout the whole year has just been incredible with the kind of play that I do. Just to give some highlights of the year, I started at level 48, and I'm pretty sure I was about halfway XP-wise. So I was like 1.5 levels away from 50 at the start of the year, making it a goal to hit it by the end of the year. And by Slowpoke Community Day, which was in March, I got to level 49, which was a really nice bonus of the 3 times catch XP.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a lot of XP from that event. And then another huge highlight was Axie Community Day in June, and that one was a 3 times catch XP again. And even just from that day, I think I had like 4 to 4.5 million XP just from the catches. And then on top of that, which was another big reason why I got to level 50, is because of all the gifting and friendship level increases. Like, I saved a bunch of them waiting for the perfect timing to hit those levels. And so during that Axie Community Day, I also gained, I think it was another 4.5 million XP just from friendship levels. So during Axie Community Day, I know I got like 9 million XP. So that really helped. It was really nice. But yeah, the gifting and friendships, I grinded opening and sending gifts like every day. So that was a really big part of getting to level 50. And then the follow-up with a very close second proudest moment of the year is hitting veteran rank in GBL for the first time. And hopefully this coming year, I hope to hit legend. So thanks again for all you guys do, and we'll see you around.
Okay. Jason is quite the player. Not only that heroic effort for the XP, but then also just throw in at the end there, oh yeah, I'm also darn good at GBL too. Like, oh, that's so good. Good for you. You had a banner year.
He's coming for us, Chris.
Oh no.
His
Next
big numbers going up.
Yeah, that's right. Next voicemail is going to be, and I've got a podcast and it's more popular than yours. And I'll be like, oh, well, that was the last thing that I had. So no, but jokes aside, really good job. And congratulations. Again, quite a banner year. Hopefully 2024 treats you just as well, if not better. We've got one more voicemail. This one did not have a name. They've emailed a few times. Maybe there was a name the first. Anyway, here you go.
Hey Chris, hey Kyle. I'm here to leave you guys another voicemail, and it's something that I just figured out recently today, and it has confused me very largely. If you go to the Kalos Pokedex in Pokemon Go, and you scroll down to 679 to 681, that entry has not been even seen. And if you look up 679 to 681 on the Pokemon Go Pokedex, it will come up as Honedge to Aegislash.
Yep.
And those Pokemon are not in the game. So I'm a bit confused. Could this be like teasing Honedge and Aegislash? And I'm just really confused. I just thought that'd be some like nice information to throw out there. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.
I think with Aegislash, firstly, thank you for the email. They've got a beautiful shiny. Like this family better get a community day one day.
Oh yeah.
Just walking around a bunch of swords would be hilarious.
Be sweet.
So the Kalos is in a very interesting position because it's just those 3 Pokemon plus Volcanion that hasn't been released yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in a weird position where...
Oh, wait, is Magearna part of that generation?
Magearna is technically a Alola.
Okay, it's one of those fringe ones.
Kalos.
Right. I remember the movie they were in together, Volcanion and Magearna. That's why I was confused.
But the other weird oddity about the Kalos decks is there's not much left to release shiny. Like, people might think, oh no, there's lots of things. I'm like, well, there's the Scatterbug family, there's the Flabebe family, there's Honedge, and then there's Carbink, Klefki, and Hawlucha.
Oh, geez, yeah. The other ones are just...
And then Zygarde, Diancie, but Hoover's never had its shiny released in any Pokemon game. So, they're really... Kalos is nearly milked dry. So what Kalos had was the Mega Evolutions. So they've been able to sort of use them as like the Gen 6 representation. So every time we get a new Mega Evolution, that's sort of them releasing something from Kalos.
Yeah.
The thing with Aegislash, which is Honedge, Doublade, Aegislash, its third evolution, it has a mechanic called Stance Change, where in combat, if it uses a defensive move like Protect or a move that doesn't do damage, it stays in its shield form, where its defenses are swapped with its attack. And when it uses an attacking move like, say, let's just use Tackle or Sacred Sword, it changes from a shield into a sword, and its defenses and attacks swap.
Mm-hmm.
And it then calculates its damage on its attack, but if it gets hit, it's more vulnerable. The problem this has is how CP is calculated in Pokemon Go. So when it swaps between those forms, because it's meant to do it in combat, its CP would radically change. So how would that implement with Go Battle League?
Mm-hmm.
So what I believe the issue with those three Pokemon is implementing it in a way that works for Go Battle League and works around the lore of the Pokemon. Because you don't want to enter a 1500 cup CP with a 1500 cup CP Aegislash in its defense form, but then its stance changes to a 2400 CP Pokemon. Just because of how the calculations work.
Do you think that the way that they'll go about that is that you can change the form like we can with other Pokemon, where you can change it due to the cost, kind of like Hoopa, or do we think that they'll just be locked to those forms, kind of like Deoxys is?
See, my hope was that the shield form would be for when it's a gym defender, or when it's, say, your buddy but hasn't been fed a berry. And then active form or the sword form could be when you bury it as your buddy or when using it in braids or battles. But how they calculate the CP will affect its viability in Go Battle League. So I think they're probably just working out the kinks, maybe giving it its own special formula that has a different calculation to other Pokemon that exist, and getting that approved through the Pokemon Company. And as it's Park Ghost type, they probably want to save it for a Halloween event.
Maybe they didn't care enough to make ghost types a big deal this past Halloween. So,
but it would be a perfect community day for in October.
It would. It really, really would.
If they're looking for a Pokemon to debut during community days this year, it's probably the best candidate.
Oh, Rowlet would have been good too, though.
Again, we only had Froakie in August.
I know. I'm just
that way that the end of year recap, they can have the one generation, because we had that weird situation where Piplup was January 2020, and then it was just like this lone starter in this year of community days.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I think they're just trying to keep them together so it's more thematically inclined over a year.
Yeah.
So that's my explanation. Chris, you got any takes when it comes to Aegislash?
I mean, I think that reason is why it is not in the game yet. But as for it appearing in the Pokedex, that's just how the Pokedex works. They're not trying to tease it or anything else like that. If it's a Pokemon, it will eventually, presuming, right, it will be in Go at some point in time, right? So I don't think it's like an Easter egg or anything like that. It's very intentional, and there's no hiding that they're going to eventually add that Pokemon. It's just how and when. The real Kecleon treatment,
It's especially relevant with the later you get in the game, the more mechanics and gimmicks are given to once-off Pokemon families, which whereas in Gen 1, Gen 2, they could just roll out them en masse because it was very much a copy-paste implementation, which is why we saw Scatterbug take so long to get released, or why Pokemon like Wishy-Washy still haven't been released from Alola. And Wishy-Washy takes up that space between Lycanroc and Marini, for example.
I hope that Wishy-Washy gets a community day for its release, and that the Incense Boys can just lose their minds over it. That'd be great.
Maybe awesome. a limited timed research raid day.
Ooh, yeah, there we go. And you have to rate it in school form in order to catch it in the individual one. Like, that would be sick.
I would just like it to be a form change, because that's what it is. It's a form change that only works if it's above level 20. So
but I don't want to
raid up to level 40.
I don't want to raid the single one. I want to raid the big group. That'd be cool.
And you just catch a single fish.
Yeah, I feel like that's a cool
just
canonical experience. Oh, jeez. Anyway, don't put that fish on the Barbie, right? the Barbie as like the Barbie movie.
I was about to say, how do you put a fish on Margot Robbie?
This Barbie's got a fish on it. All right. Well, thank you very much for the voicemail. We've got some emails too. We actually have a lot, so I don't think we'll get through all of them. We'll do a few, and then we'll save some for next week as well. Our first one is from Andrew. And they said, hey, Chris and Kyle, I've never written in before, but I wanted to say I have been listening since the first episode. And recently, I've been doing a re-listen from episode 1. And I have to say, ever since PvP started in Pogo, we've been told that Hydro Cannon Swampert was the best, or one of the best Pokemon to have in PvP. Well, I just have to say, anytime I play PvP, I love when someone brings Swampert because I know I'm going to win the match, or at least have a good chance at winning, because my Frenzy Plant Venusaur makes quick work of him. I think there's some kind of conspiracy that Big Swampert is trying to push this notion that you need to bring a Swampert if you want to win. From my experience, I've only ever lost when I use one. Just thought I would throw my 2 cents into for the matter. What do you guys think? Thanks for the great podcast as always. What about you, Lachlan? You think Big Swampert's at work here? Isn't that just Mega Swampert? Isn't that Big Swampert?
Well, we haven't really seen a Hydro Cannon user change the metagame until Greninja after Swampert. So it is just a very good move. And the Gen 1, Gen 2 water types, when they introduced that move into the game and balanced it, really needed more support than their grass and fire cousins. So Swampert just said, thank you for Alligator for being lackluster.
Yeah, that's true. And at the time that Swampert came out, Hydro Cannon spamming in competitive was much better than it is now.
Because Greninja's just a better Hydro Cannon spammer.
Yeah. Plus, it's got access
and doesn't have a 4 times weakness.
Right, it's got Water Shuriken too and everything, which is great. And Night Slash for recovery.
I love Swampert. Mudkip was my Gen 3 starter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Torchic all the way. I'm sorry. But I do love Mudkip.
I am normally the water starter, but Gen 2 is one of the few times I go with not the water starter.
Oh, okay.
I'll just leave it there before I cause any other rifts.
Anyway, thank you very much for the email there, Andrew. We've got another email here. This one is from Liono 1001. Love that name.
Hello, Chris and Kyle. Liono1001 here. First of all, I want to start my first email to the cast off by saying that your podcast is downright awesome and is the best Pokemon Go podcast around. Also,
thank you,
Chris. Kyle's solo episode was so good.
I know.
But it didn't have the true GoCast feel without you.
Aww.
It started to feel like every week people would just write in saying that Kyle did spectacularly, and while he did a great job, I just wanted to let you know that I did miss hearing you on the show, and it really wasn't the same without you. And I'm sure you'll be listening and thinking, where the heck is Kyle this week?
I'm too weak to do a solo show. I need the support.
If you look back in the archive, it's all those weeks when it was just, and here's PvP Corner.
Yeah.
And that was Chris's contribution for the week.
Uh-huh.
Second of all, I think you guys may have been wrong about how 2018 Pokemon affect trading nowadays. I waited a week to see if you'd address this in the next episode, but as you didn't, I wanted to let you know this is actually quite a massive boost for some trainers. According to a GoHub article, not all your lucky Pokemon count towards your total when determining whether a Pokemon caught in 2018 or earlier will be guaranteed towards becoming lucky, which is what you guys had said. Every account has a hidden counter of number of guaranteed lucky trades that they participate in. Note that this is not the number of lucky trades you had in total. Lucky friend trades and random lucky trades do not affect the counter. If you trade a Pokemon caught before 31 December 2018, the trade will go lucky if your hidden counter of guaranteed lucky trades is less than 25. Both trainers and trade will have their count increased by 1. I've done the same testing with my little brother, and all 4 2018 Pokemon that we traded all came over lucky. This means as long as you hadn't already done your 25 guaranteed lucky old trade Pokemon. I also have some testing with my little brother, and the 4 2018 Pokemon that we had traded all came over as lucky. This means that as long as you haven't already done 25 guaranteed by old Pokemon lucky trades, that you can immediately make some guaranteed lucky trades, which is huge due to the high IVs that lucky Pokemon always get. Shundo vibes all. I've always been taking advantage of this bonus, as I have plenty of Pokemon from 2018. Sorry to be a nitpicker, but I feel like I should tell you guys this because it will be a massive bonus for trainers from 2018 and before, especially because the guaranteed trade cap has been increased from 15 to 25. Awesome podcast, and I'm deeply sorry for this long email. Why are you sorry for the long email?
You should be.
I'm with Chris. We are getting Arceus at this Go Tour.
That's right. Yeah,
Lino
Team Arceus.
1001. Now, with the lucky trades, they have changed the system at some point. They never announced the change. So it used to count up the individual lucky Pokemon you had received from those guaranteed trades. So say you gave me a 2016 Poliwag, and I evolved it up to Poliwrath. That used to count as 3 of those guaranteed trades for your account.
Oh, really?
But if one of the 2 people haven't hit their cap, it goes lucky. So if you meet up with someone who hasn't played since trading was introduced, you still get the guaranteed lucky trades off them. It's a very complicated system. It shouldn't be this complicated. But if they made all 2018 and before Pokemon able to be lucky forever, you'd have people really never trading because they would just wait 5 years for it to become guaranteed.
Yeah. I could have sworn when we talked about this, we did mention that it was the time, the limit was based on qualifying trades.
It's
but I don't think
complicated.
it's that simple. Yeah, right.
The thing is just so complicated, and there's no public way of seeing that information. So for the average player, you might not experience it. And like, I don't have anything from 2018 that isn't a hundo. So I can't test this theory. But the older a Pokemon gets, the higher it has of going lucky in a regular lucky trade anyway. So if you've got Pokemon sitting in there from 2019, even 2020, those have significantly boosted chances of going lucky now that we're in 2024.
Okay.
So the best thing to do when you're going through doing trades, as someone who trades a lot, search age 366 minus. That shows you everything that's a year or more older, and not 4-star. So not is an exclamation mark. And then just go through there and see, do I really need 75 of this costume Delibird? I'll trade 7 of them, you know? And that's a good way of getting a higher chance of going lucky. And I think a year is about 10%, and a regular trade is 5%.
Okay. Interesting.
Use that what you will. And I'm sure the Go Hub article gives you a lot more information.
Yeah, I'll make sure I include that link in the show notes so that people can go check it out. Because I am now just like, I don't know, I feel like I had an idea or a handle on it, but like you said, things have changed. And
shout out to the Go Hub writer I know best, Glorhanto Jar.
Anyway, yeah, great. Thank you very much for the email. Always appreciate a fact check too. And especially in an area that like I am not nearly as
it's just a very complicated feature.
Confident,
I was contemplating writing in about it, and I said, you know what, I can't explain this succinctly. So
well, they did a great job, so thankfully
Lino did a really good job on that.
We got another email here. This one's from Ryan, and they said, part 1, hello GoCast, happy post Christmas. It's Ryan. My greatest Pokemon Go achievement is getting a shiny Froakie after in August my mom had to trade it to me after I couldn't get it then. Ran out of Pokeballs, could not go out, had no money, etc. I was so ashamed as a trainer, it ruined my August calm day. Oh, man. Well, part 2, I was wondering, how would people who do not have a lot of money prepare for Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh? I was Pokeball farming while I was out today, and I got 120 of them, which is about 1/5 of my storage. So yeah, I'm pretty much good for now. That's great. It's almost New Year's Eve. I'm probably going to use 50 Pokeballs for that shiny Jigglypuff, and once I get it, I am satisfied because I already have the other 2 Pokemon as shiny. I also want a shiny Party Hat Wurmple if I can go out and do the raids. Lastly, I want a shiny Bronzor because I barely see them in the wild in Texas and want to get it out of the way before Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh. Yeah, that's not a bad call.
Some people are excited for Bronzor, for the record.
Some people.
I like Bronzor. It's one of those amazing perma-boosted shinies.
It is, and it does make me feel good when it shines. But then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's another Bronzor. What is your opinion on having 4 Pokemon in the wild during the New Year's event? I think it's a really good way. It's really good in the way that you cannot worry about getting every shiny, but is kind of bad in the way that if you only have 1 or 2 Pokemon to hunt and you get them, then you're kind of bored. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Well, as someone who didn't get any of them, when it comes to bag management, so what I did historically when I was starting off in the game, this is before raids, so this is in the old days. Chris and I have been at this a while. I used to, once a week, because if I got my gym coins every day for 7 days, that was 350 coins. So every 350 coins, I would buy 1 storage upgrade, going from Pokemon storage to item bag, to Pokemon storage to item bag and just slowly build them up. And now I'm not at max. I'm at 7,000 for Pokemon and 6,000 for items because it's nice round numbers. Or is it 8,000? It's 7,000, 6,000 because that's nice round numbers. Because we can't go up to 8,000 yet.
Nope.
So that's my best advice when it comes to managing being a free-to-play player. And that still gives you 150 coins every week to do the occasional additional raid pass. Or you can save them up for those bundles. When it comes to getting Pokeballs and having enough item space, you have to be really careful on that day what you're doing. So there's a lot of tasks from field research during the Go Tours historically and during community days where it's catch 3 Pokemon for 5 balls. So really keep an eye out for those tasks instead of the ones which players like Chris and I might go for, which are anything that gives you an encounter with the community day Pokemon.
Yeah.
So if you can go out and walk, spin some stops, really focus in on the ones that reward you more balls than you put in to get them. And that will keep your stock at about the same. Now, depending on if you're a Niantic Kids account or not, and if you have the ability to add friends, opening gifts is an amazing way to get Pokeballs if you do have space in your bag to receive them. So that just depends on if you're a Niantic kid and if your parent has that setting turned on or not. And even if it's just getting gifts from your parent and other people that your parent knows and trusts to have on your friends list, it's a really good way of keeping your resources stocked up around events. And during the Go Tour, you don't have to catch every Pokemon if you don't want to, which is hard for me to say. But if you're on a low storage capacity, focus on getting a couple of the Pokemon you want, maybe some of the regional Pokemon, get a couple extra of them to trade later on to your mum or friends or whoever. And just focus on the shinies and just shiny check, which is so hard for me to say, but in your circumstance, that's the best thing that you can do, and you'll have a really good time.
Yeah,
but just focus on doing field research if you can.
Yeah, and I would also for field research tasks, if you have a very specific, like if you're getting encounters too, you don't have to catch them. You can put them in your stack, right? Run away from them, and you go back to your research thing. They'll be there. Another little tip would be,
100.
Yeah, make sure that look up somewhere online. What is the perfect IV CP for Rowlet from research tasks? So you'll know if you see a hundo by sight without having to catch it first and then appraise it. That'll save you a few balls in the moment too, and you can just catch them at your leisure at a later time. Perhaps maybe when you have no spawns around and you have a star piece going or something for something else.
Or you can pick up one of those tasks that they catch a 3 Rowlet, and you've just got 3 sitting in your research stack that you can just claim and get 5 balls, which is a net gain of 2 balls.
That's right. Plus two value. Yep. But yeah, good luck. And Happy New Year to you as well. Yeah. We've got a couple of other emails here, but we're running a little long here. So I think we're going to save them for next week when we've got Kyle back in the saddle, allegedly. No, I'm sure he'll be fine. He's already feeling better. So that brings us to the end of the show here. If you'd like to write in or call in like these fine folks did, you can by sending emails to mail@gocastpodcast.com, or you can call 262-586-7717. Visit our website for all things GoCast, gocastpodcast.com. Follow us on X/Twitter, formerly known as at GoCast Podcast. If you'd like to help support us, please subscribe on YouTube, GoCast Podcast. You'll find us, I promise. If you'd like to help support us monetarily, you can via Patreon, and that's spelled Patreon.com, and then /GoCast Podcast, where as little as $1, you get access to the Discord and get to hang out and stuff. It's really, really cool. But we do have some elite trainer tier patrons that give quite a bit more, and we like to identify them. So, Mr. Lachlan, would you like to have the honors this week?
Yes, please. So last time I did it in reverse. This time I've put the list into a random list generator. So for anyone at home who sort of tries to say it along with us, I'm sorry. But this is the random order that we're doing for this week. Ethan, Daniel, Laurie, Lee, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Stephen, Jason, Justin, Marvin, Abimi, Sarah Law, Victoria, Arkham, Nick Bow, Swartz, All Hisuian, Ryan, Camo, William, They Are Aussie, Modders, The Ugly Rot, Brandon, Charles, Michael, and Jacob.
Wow. I love
it's
all
so
those people.
Weird when it's not in the right order.
But I didn't like that. Yeah. It's got a natural cadence to it. It's been established now for like a year plus.
And at one point, you're going to change Swartz to actually just say Hisuian Ryan.
Well, he clarified, that it was fine if I didn't want to include it, but I like it because it's a little trail marker, Oh yeah, sports or Hisuian Ryan. It's great. Yeah,
And he's also a better gifter than you, Chris.
Everybody, a newspaper is a better gifter than I am.
There are people worse than you.
No way. I send you a gift like once a year.
Yeah. Cowboy Hat Canopy has never sent a gift.
Mike,
he's opened my gift once since Yell.
Come on. Oh yeah, that's okay. I'll see him at another event. And I'll harass him for you. And he'll be like, "Who's that?" Oh gosh. Anyway,
further down his list than G, I guess.
If you'd like to help support the show and monetary means are not, in the cards for you, you can still first of all, listening. So thank you very much. But you can also leave us a review on platforms that accept reviews. We got 2 cents. This first one is from Void Knight 3541. And they said, Chris and Kyle, please read this during the show. You got it. No problem. It'd be funny if it was just that. The Rowlet Community Day event has me hyped because Rowlet is my favorite grass type starter Pokemon. And my question is, what would you think the best Community Day was? Or what do we think the best Community Day was, I suppose? Signing off, Sneaker Upper 792, or known on Campfire as Void Boy. We got a few different names going on here. So what do you think the best Community Day was to date?
Controversial hot take.
Marie, classic.
I had the most fun at that Community Day because I wasn't playing it.
Nice.
I like the first ever December reroll.
Yeah,
because that was cool. It was coming, and we didn't know what it was about. And I remember walking from my house to the city and home on that Saturday in the heat, and being so happy at getting my first shiny Bulbasaur, because that was a Community Day I just didn't do originally.
Yeah,
and that experience you just can't take. It's that first time where you experience this cluster of spawns for people who couldn't go to real world events. Just different Pokemon all having that boosted shiny chance was just memorable.
Magic. Yeah. For me, it's my first in-person Community Day in the city. I know Kyle and I talk about it quite a bit, but Larvitar Community Day was magic for me, and it's because of that experience largely that I'm still sitting here today in front of this microphone talking about this game. So yeah. Our other review was from a guy who plays Roblox. They said, hello, always wanting to ask you guys one really important question. What is your personal favorite Pokemon? I'll answer for Kyle since he's not here. We've got a visual aid for Lachlan on screen right now. But for Kyle, it's Ghastly. Lachlan, what for the audio listeners, what did you just hold up to the screen?
I just held up my Kamala.
Yeah, nice.
It's just such a cute Pokemon. Years ago I would have said Suicune, but there's something about Kamala. I don't know. It's just so relatable.
Is the log the Pokemon, or is the bear the Pokemon?
Well, the log's the only thing that changes and it's shiny.
Right. That makes sense. I think the bear is just an accessory.
And it rolls around on the log as your buddy. But had you asked me in Gen 5, I would have said Vanillux because it's one of the best Pokemon families of all time, Kyle.
Do you really think so?
Yes, I love it.
Oh, wow.
It's a good Pokemon.
Every Pokemon it's somebody's favorite. But I will say I'm surprised that you just said that.
I think it's fine. It's a standout for me.
I think it's fine. I just don't think I'm like, wow, a Sunday.
No, but because when playing through it, I got the games like the last day that month would have been winter.
Yeah.
So I played through it and I got to the route where I caught it. And then I didn't see another one for the rest of the game. I thought this must be such a rare Pokemon.
Sure.
I fell in love with it because I needed a nice type because I knew that there was a Dragon Gym in that region.
Yeah, yeah. And does it actually like hold up as Vanillux? Is its stats like are they decent? Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it's
not when you're doing quad. Yeah. Okay, so for myself, Cyndaquil, but it is really almost always closely tied with Scyther as well. But Cyndaquil's my boy. Scyther and Suicune are right there.
So how come you got 2 Hisuian evolutions and a Paradox form?
I know somebody. My dad works at Nintendo. That's not true, by the way. That'd be cool. It'd be really sweet. I don't think I could do this show if my dad worked at Nintendo. This would be kind of
You would be able to.
I would or would not?
Yeah, you would, because he's not at Pokemon Company.
Oh, true. Fair enough. Hey, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I don't know, Lachlan, but I count my blessings, man. Very happy about it. Typhlosion needed some love. It deserved a form.
It needs an item that if it holds like a charcoal, its flames just appear in the overworld.
Yes, please. That'd be great.
Just walking around with the slug otherwise.
So if you'd like to be like these fine folks, just like the people that wrote in, I suppose, please leave us a review. It helps us out a lot. Even if it just says, please read this during the show and that's it, I'll read it. I will. It'd be funny. Cool. All right. That's the end of the show here. We've got to set some goals and then we'll get out of here. I did get Kyle's already. So Lachlan, we got to get yours too. What are you planning on doing this weekend?
I would like to get 7 shiny Rowlet. And as it's a 3 times catch Stardust, I would like to get 250,000 Stardust over the day.
Amazing. Anything else?
I would like to get... How close is this to Best Buddy? I can't just say that because that's not how it works for me. My Ditto's 111 hearts away. What's it? Friday, Community Day is tomorrow. No, I can't.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, those two are great. Kyle also just sent 2.
Nice. Yeah. Nice, easy, simple goals.
Yeah. Kyle set 10 shiny Rowlet and maxes Hundo Rowlet that he already has. And for me, 20 shiny Rowlet, 200,000 Stardust, and 50 eggs for the week.
And my 7 is just so that I can get 1 to stay as a Rowlet, 1 to stay as a Rowlet, which could evolve into Hisuian Decidueye potentially next month, Dartrix Decidueye, and then the last 3 are to go to Pokemon Home. Because I already have the shiny Hisuian Decidueye in Pokemon Home.
Couldn't you just hold on to 2 Dartrix instead of an extra Rowlet in anticipation? Because there's no Hisuian Dartrix.
Yeah.
Might as well just be safe. Yeah.
It's cuter to put in gyms.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's it for the show, Lachlan. Thank you very, very much for filling in for Mr. Kyle. I appreciate it.
Well, it is my pleasure. And I'd like to give another tease to our 5th episode of Star Piece.
Okay.
It's not Charpedia. And it's not Squirpedia. Squirgarden.
Good one. Char Garden.
Celebi.
Oh, there you go. I think a Char Garden would be sweet because it'd just be like a big park, but it's all just grills. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.